Coming up on Mountain News this morning, state lawmakers are hearing debates over illegal immigration in the Commonwealth. And one group made its way to Appalachia as it works to bring resources to eastern Kentucky.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 6:30 on Wednesday, June 19th. Now let's go ahead and send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. 66 outside our door. The visibility, well, somewhere down there below are the streets and the buildings. And yes, the visibility is, well, officially, quote unquote, 4 miles. It's about a half mile outside our door. $1.50 at Jacksboro. Visibility now back up to 3 miles at Ashland. Temperature-wise, we're at 67 as you make your way toward Manchester, 65 at Middlesboro. Good morning, Irvin. You're at 69, 70 at Prestonsburg. Waves of clouds continue to stream on in from the west and southwest. Seen them on the webcam reviews where we don't have the fog issues this morning. So after some nice pretty colors this morning with our sunrise, we end up averaging out to a partly sunny sky and a high this afternoon in Hazard to 90. Yeah, no chance of precipitation today. How long will that last? We'll let you know. Your first Alert 7-day forecast is coming up in just a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. A teenager is dead and another hurt after an ATV crash. Deputies say it happened just after 4 yesterday afternoon, about 6 miles east of London. They say a 13 and 14-year-old were on a four-wheeler when it went off the roadway. The 14-year-old died. The 13-year-old was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No names have been released. One person is dead after a crash in Laurel County. It happened just before 11 p.m. Sunday night on Kentucky 490, about 5 miles from London. Officials with the sheriff's office say a pedestrian entered the roadway into the path of a white-colored Honda Accord and was struck by the car. 57-year-old George Lewis was taken to a local hospital where he was later pronounced dead. And another deadly crash in Wayne County, West Virginia. That crash happened on Monday afternoon on West Virginia 152. According to the Wayne County Sheriff, a minor died in the crash. There was a period where both lanes on that road were both blocked near Skyview Drive, but that area has since reopened. The person's name has not been released. From education to healthcare, voting, and police, Kentucky lawmakers heard about illegal immigration in the state yesterday. Overall, lawmakers were told Kentucky is not tracking undocumented people. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what was discussed in a legislative panel.
First up in the Committee on State Government was Secretary of State Michael Adams, who says the state constitution is vague when it comes to laws preventing non-U.S. citizens from voting.
And Kentucky's Constitution implies, although it does not state, that non-citizens cannot vote in Kentucky's state and local elections.
A constitutional amendment this November asked voters if they only want U.S. citizens to vote. Adams says he's seen no evidence that non-citizens have tried to vote. Other agency heads testified that tracking illegal immigration is difficult.
Again, and going back with the limitations of what we can actually ask of motors that we have interactions with.
Burnett says if they do have undocumented immigrants, they treat them like an unlicensed driver. Prosecutors say there is little data tracking.
We get no notification at all when we are dealing with an undocumented individual.
Health officials say undocumented people can receive emergency care through Medicaid. That does include labor and delivery, but there are limits to other services.
Are ineligible to enroll in Medicaid or CHIP or purchase coverage through the Affordable Care Act marketplace.
And education officials say that a 1987 Supreme Court decision does not allow inquiries about citizenship or data collection. They say the cost of teaching English to students has increased.
There are 167 unique languages spoken in Kentucky public schools.
Courtney says Kentucky receives $5 million from the federal government to support that. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The information gathered yesterday could be used by lawmakers as they design new bills for consideration in the 2025 session. In Clay County, a federal sentence for 2 men in a kidnapping case. A judge sentenced 33-year-old Kenneth Grubb to 9 years in prison. 19-year-old Landon Wagers was given 7 years. Prosecutors say the 2 men kidnapped and assaulted a man, bringing him to a drug dealer. The dealer then gave the 2 men methamphetamine as payment. 3 people are behind bars after police found drugs during a vehicle search in Logan County, West Virginia. West Virginia State Police arrested Jamie Osborne, Alicia Weekly, and Dylan Bledsoe on 2 possession with intent to deliver charges. Police pulled the vehicle over on State Route 44. During the search, 3.5 ounces of suspected fentanyl and 9 grams of suspected cocaine were found inside. Overnight, a golden alert was issued by the Breathitt County Emergency Management Office. Take a look at your screen. Here is a picture of 72-year-old Billy G. Robinson. He was last seen in the South Fork Elk View area of Jackson around 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Officials say he was seen in an all-camouflage outfit. If you have any information, you are asked to call 911 or the Breathitt County Sheriff's Office at 606-666-3800. Officials with one Pulaski County Fire Department are asking for help finding a missing woman. Here's a picture of Kelly Goodson Stanfield. She is 42 years old and is described as having brown curly hair with brown eyes. Officials with the Parkers Mill Fire Department say Goodson Stanfield is 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighs 152 pounds. She was last seen leaving her home in the Shadow Oak Drive community. If you have any information, you are asked to call 911. A number of students at East Bernstadt Independent School in Laurel County are disappointed after suddenly being told they won't be able to play football this year. According to Laurel County Schools, an agreement has existed for years allowing East Bernstadt students to play football for North Laurel Middle School, since the independent district does not have a team. However, Laurel County Schools says that will no longer be allowed due to insurance and liability reasons. The players impacted by the decision, as well as their parents, are upset.
If he doesn't go to their school, North Laurel Middle School, he wouldn't be allowed to play. So now he's not wanting to leave his friends that's staying at their school they've known for the past 5 years and preschool. So it's a really big decision that we're having to make.
Some parents hope the district will reconsider the change. We have reached out to East Bernstadt Independent School officials for comment, but have not heard back. The Thrive Kentucky Roadshow made a stop in Pikeville yesterday, working to bring access and advocacy to the area. Kentucky Voices for Health is working with its partners to connect communities with the resources needed to thrive. From housing to health care, officials are inviting community leaders to the table to hear the changes and discuss policies throughout the Commonwealth. Those involved say it is about eliminating barriers and needed resources.
Visiting communities, learning about what's happening in the community, taking that back to help us inform the work that we do on the policy side. But we'll be in different parts of Kentucky between now and November.
If you want to be part of one of the remaining roadshow stops, you can find out how on our website.
Good Wednesday morning to you. Dealing with the areas of fog locally dense in spots, so keep it in mind, pedal off the metal. As you leave Hazard and now head down to Harlan, where the visibility has dropped down to 3 miles, a mile and a half still at Jacksboro, and we've had some issues regarding the fog up your way at Ashland, where it's 72 right now. As you end up leaving northeastern Kentucky into West Virginia, 69 at Irvin, Jonesville checking in at 64. Waves of clouds continue to stream on in. Don't worry, we'll get some sunshine out of the equation. And, well, regarding precipitation, 0 today. Yeah, we're going to keep it dry. And a forecast high this afternoon up close to 90. So if we keep it dry today, when does that chance of precipitation come back into play? We'll let you know. Your first alert 7-day forecast, that's coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
Thanks, Tim, and thank you for joining us. We are coming up on 6:39. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Intense wildfires are burning out west as officials give out a stern warning to locals and travelers.